Hey 49er fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Today's video is brought to you guys by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com/49ers for 20% off your first order plus free shipping. Again, right now, manscaped.com/49ers. All right, let's go and jump into the 49ers report, which of course on a Monday means 49ers news and rumors, all the news and rumors you guys need to get your day started. There's a lot of stuff. We got to jump into it. I've had so many Twitter questions about our second story today. You're going to want to stay tuned for that. Let's go ahead and start with the injury news as we always do on a Monday because for whatever reason, San Francisco just keeps getting injured. And guess what? Add Brandon Aiyuk. Yes, the rookie wide receiver, number 25 overall in the NFL draft, to the list of injured, not only wide receivers, but injured players overall. The injury bug has hit the 49ers camp probably the hardest in the entire National Football League. I do not know of a team, the other 31 teams in the NFL, that have had more injuries than San Francisco, and now we add Brandon Aiyuk. Now, as of right now, as of filming this on a Monday morning, we do not have an update on the severity of his injury. He pulled up with what appeared to be a left hamstring injury. He ran a deep route and was throwing the football from Jimmy Garoppolo. Pulled up, left practice, no update yesterday in terms of Kyle Shanahan. There might be an update today in terms of this afternoon. We got to remember in terms of, West Coast time versus East Coast time. So we don't have a full update yet, but right now we're all just kind of holding our breath, hoping this is just a minor sprain or not a torn hamstring would be worst case scenario for Brandon Aiyuk. It's getting to the point where maybe I need to start suiting up to be the wide receiver. I might have to suit up and be a wide receiver for the 49ers because, one, I'm ready to go, right? Look, I'm in fantastic shape. Two, there's no one else, right? The amount of 49er wide receivers that are available right now is dwindling so incredibly fast. Here's the official report from NBC Sports Bay Area on the Aiyuk injury. They said, quote, Aiyuk's status for the short term now is tenuous due to a hamstring injury he sustained during practice on Sunday morning. 49ers immediately provide an update on Aiyuk's status. One play after catching one of his many passes from quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo, Aiyuk was running a deep route down the right side of the field when he pulled up and grabbed his left hamstring. So there really isn't a full update there from the official guys there at NBC Sports Bay Area. I would bet we get an update this afternoon. But this is important because the 49ers, again, are expecting big things from Brandon Aiyuk. They're expecting big things from Aiyuk before the other injuries at wide receiver, the Deebo Samuels and Richie James Jr.'s, and now they're expecting incredible things from Brandon Aiyuk. He's looked fantastic so far in training camp, and yet here we are, he has a hamstring injury. My bet is, and my hope, it's just a couple of days. It's a day-to-day injury. He'll be out for, 4 or 5 days, maybe even a week. Be back and ready to go because, guys, the NFL season is less than 3 weeks away. You need to get not only your veteran players, but your rookies up to speed quickly because no preseason games is having a big impact so far in training camp. Here are your current healthy 49er wide receivers, just in case you were wondering. Kendrick Bourne would technically be wide receiver number 1 right now because he is the most experienced, I would say, wide receiver in terms of the 49er offense. But, it's Bourne, Pettis, Taylor, and Jerron Brown, J.J. Nelson, Tavon Austin, Jawan Jennings, and Sean Poindexter. So 3 of those players were players that were not even 49ers even a week ago, and yet are there right now. It's why they brought in so many extra free agent wide receivers that we talked about on the show just a couple of days ago. So the first news we got to start with, again, is not great news. The injury for Brandon Aiyuk. We'll keep an eye on that. We'll keep you updated on that. But the hope is that is a short-term hamstring injury and not a long-term hamstring injury. There'll be a pinned comment down below, though. Give me a one-word reaction, your one-word reaction to the Aiyuk injury news and that pinned comment down below. Also, while you guys are down there, this is why you got to be subscribed to the channel because we have the latest 49ers news and rumors and the breaking news as well. We cover it all here, so click that big red subscribe button. And what you should really be doing is turning the notifications on by going down below me in the video section, like right below there, kind of by the description box, and click the little bell. It's called the notification bell. If you click that, then you'll be notified. Your phone will get a little update saying, hey, Thomas Mott just released a brand new 49er video, and it'll be like as soon as we release it, you'll get the update. So that way you guys get the latest news as quickly as possible. So subscribe and turn on your notification bell as well. And while we're talking about notification bell, you guys probably got the notification, at least on Twitter, that Earl Thomas is a free agent, right? Now listen, you're probably one of the 8 million people who DM me on Twitter yesterday asking about Earl Thomas. So in case you were not one of those people, I'll go ahead and answer the whole Earl Thomas situation and why I think San Francisco should stay away from Earl Thomas at all costs. So if you don't know, Earl Thomas was cut by the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday following an incident with a teammate where he allegedly punched a teammate. They reviewed it internally and have officially cut him, meaning Earl Thomas loses his entire salary essentially for the 2020 season and misses out on a long-term, really successful future with the Baltimore Ravens. Now, there is some reports out there, and I'm going to read you this tweet from Ian Rapoport here in 1 second. The 49ers could be interested. My quick take on this, and I'll explain it more here in just a minute, I don't want a toxic player. mean, I do not want a toxic player. Toxic in Seattle, had a toxic ending there with a very, very, very respected head coach and organization, and now toxic in Baltimore. Do you really want a third time the charm toxic player on what is a non-toxic, incredible locker room? No, I do not. Now, here's the Ian Rapoport tweet saying, quote, a few other teams to watch for Ravens safety Earl Thomas upon him being released. The 49ers and Texans, they should be among those inquiring, along with the Cowboys. Thomas, of course, will have a market. Now, you guys think that that's a move the 49ers shouldn't make? I'm going to obviously tell you why, and that's a move that I continue to break this down. You just don't want a toxic player on your team and in your organization. Before I break more of that down here in 1 second, this video, of course, is brought to you guys by Manscaped. For 20% off your first order, press plus free shipping. Go to manscaped.com/49ers so you guys get yourself the Lawnmower 3.0, something I used just yesterday, which is the best male grooming tool out there because it's incredibly sharp blades. The battery lasts forever. Not forever, but it lasts a very, very long time. And it has a blade guard, so it's not going to go ahead and nip you. You could also get the perfect package, which comes with the Lawnmower 3.0, as well as some deodorant, free boxers, and a cool traveling bag as well. All of that and more right now at manscaped.com/49ers. 20% off plus free shipping on your first order. I understand how great Earl Thomas is. There's no debate that Earl Thomas is a great player. And if you were technically any football team that needed a safety, you could look at Earl Thomas, slide him in there, and be good to go. The problem is, again, he's a toxic player and has shown that the past two places he has been. Why would San Francisco be any place different? Sure, they have Richard Sherman, but that's the only answer you guys really have right now. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. Here is the problem that I have. He's Antonio Brown. Like, he's a free safety Antonio Brown. He's free safety. He's a defensive Antonio Brown. You remember Antonio Brown had the helmet gate and the foot gate with the 49ers. Then with the Raiders. He was then let go and signed by New England. And I wanted to go ahead and show you guys the Antonio Brown contract with the Patriots because this is what an Earl Thomas contract could look like. Remember, Antonio Brown signed a 1-year, $15 million deal with the Patriots, but it was only $1 million of guaranteed salary and $10 million, or $1 million of salary, $10 million in guarantees and bonuses. So he wasn't really paid that much, even though it was shown, oh my gosh, 1 year, $15 million a year. And Brown, eventually, after he was cut, only playing one game, only made about $155,000. So if you did want to sign Earl Thomas, you would do an Antonio Brown type deal. That way, you could protect yourself in case he continued to be a clown and continued to be a toxic locker room player. But the other problem with a guy like Earl Thomas is the 49ers really need him. You look at them re-signing Jimmy Ward this offseason. Jaquiski Tartt played very, very well last year in a limited number of roles. I'm not saying that Tartt is going to be better than Earl Thomas. Earl Thomas would make the 49ers better, but it's not like they have a major need at safety. So the whole thing, right, there's a lot of information I wanted to break down for you guys, but my main question to you essentially is not only do you want to sign Earl Thomas, and you can give me a yes or no down below, but do you want to sign a player who's proven to be toxic? And listen, it is what it is. Maybe the team may deserve being punched, but at the same time, maybe Antonio Brown deserved to wear his old helmet. It's just, there are too many maybes here in a situation for a Super Bowl caliber team to get involved with somebody who could potentially turn the locker room into chaos or just not galvanize the locker room in a way that you would want Earl Thomas to do. I would go ahead and stay away from it, but I want to hear from you guys. Type Y down below for yes, type N down below for no. Find a little bit of news here. This one's very interesting for me in terms of the offseason, training camp, and the preseason. So Jimmy Garoppolo's been throwing more interceptions in training camp than usual. All reports have said that Garoppolo is trying to feed the ball to his receivers and is throwing more picks than a lot of people would like to have. Now, with that being said, Kyle Shanahan was asked about this a couple of days ago at a media or an open media session and basically attributed all of the rust the 49ers have shown to a lack of a preseason. This goes back to me saying, guys, I really wish we had a preseason, not just for rookies like Aiyuk and Kinlaw, but for all players. And Shanahan broke this down very, very well when he said, quote, no, I feel it's about where it is and where you expect it to be in your 8th practice. There's been some good things and some rusty things as far as execution-wise and also from guys just getting into football shape. I'd say in all 3 phases, really. Usually it's about where you are. Usually it's about where you are with 8 practices, and usually you've got about 12 in before the first preseason game. So it's about where you expect to be with 8. We know it's got to get turned up a lot, and we're going to have a lot. We're going to have to play a lot sooner than we're used to. So this is not necessarily a Jimmy Garoppolo news segment saying, oh, Jimmy Garoppolo's throwing interceptions, get worried. It's not. It's more saying, listen, there is rust being shown from a lot of players, not just in San Francisco, but around the National Football League. And the reason is they've had basically no time together. And now normally, like he said, you'd have 12 games or 12 practices before your first preseason game, and then you have a ton of practices in between your next 3 preseason games before week 1. You get none of that this year with no preseason games and less practices. And listen, teams are going to struggle early on, and the injury bug, especially in actual NFL live action, could come back to bite a lot of NFL teams. Now, thankfully, San Francisco's first 5 games are not too bad. Cardinals on week 1 at Jets, at Giants, Eagles, and Dolphins. I've talked many times about how there are only 2 good teams out of the 5. The Jets, Giants, and Dolphins should all be easy wins. Philadelphia and the Cardinals will be a little bit trickier, but it's very, very, very easy for the 49ers to start off 4-1. So that's good news. But I wanted to bring this to you as you watch training camp highlights, or you read training camp tweet updates, or you watch my videos here on the 49ers Report. Take everything you see with a grain of salt, because they are not in football shape yet. They've only had 8, maybe 9 practices, including today with pads on. That is not enough to go ahead and get a fair assessment of every single player. But at the same time, it's what we have to go with, and so that's what we talk about, obviously, here for some of our videos, and what you see from everyone on Twitter and all the official pundits out there covering the 49ers day in and day out. There you go, though. Wanted to go ahead and jump on here and give you guys the Aiyuk news, break down Earl Thomas, because I don't see that being a real smart move, and then, of course, the lack of preseason and Jimmy Garoppolo's progress so far this offseason. All time we have for today here on the 49ers Report. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video. I'm going to talk about the guys who have been standing out in training camp, who have been absolute shockers. Like, there have been some guys we did not expect to stand out, who have stood out. We're going to break that down in tomorrow's video. All time we have for today here on the 49ers Report. I'm Thomas Mott, signing off for the rest of your day.